morning, everyone. Back with another episode of Stuff and Things. I hope you're all having a great day so far. I'm coming at you guys today from yet another national forest, and of course we are in Montana. Now, picking up from where we left off in the last video, I got in here pretty late last night at around 9 o'clock and I could not see my surroundings, but as I expected, and the rest of Montana as well, this place up here is beautiful. It's not super remote. The highway is just on the other side of this hill over here, but I love spots like this because you can enjoy the beauty of the nature and the places that you're in, but also I have a killer reception right now, so I'm able to work from the van. Also, my Wii Boost on top definitely helps a lot with that. So places like this, I could hang out here for days if I wanted to. Now, last night it did get down to about 10 degrees, as you can probably hear. The furnace is running full blast and I had no complaints at all. It was nice and toasty in there all night. I'm doing pretty good on power. The sun is up, so this is always going to be charging. It is pretty damn cold out here right now though, so let's jump in the van real quick. Whew. So it is a toasty 70 degrees in here and it's feeling good. So last night, since I had a bunch of free time, I was of course looking at my route and I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna go from here. I don't really have any friends in this area of Montana. I don't really know anyone in southern Idaho. And I actually made a poll over on Instagram. I asked for any southern Idaho locals to give me some advice. Should I swing back through the southern part of Idaho, or should I just sort of continue on, either go down back into Utah, Salt Lake City area, or what I could also do is go a little bit east and go into the northern corner of Wyoming. Now, I had a pretty overwhelming response of people who are from southern Idaho, and they were like, dude, don't come here. There's nothing here but cities and desert. So, because of that, I don't think I'm gonna go there. In the future, maybe I'll plan a route to go through there if I'm going somewhere in the Pacific Northwest again, but yeah, as of now, I don't think it's really worth my time to backtrack, especially because I don't really know anyone there. Now, I also did a bit more research and I came across something that was kind of a bummer, but a lot of national parks are now closed or closing for the wintertime, especially in the areas that I'm in right now. As you may have seen yesterday or in the previous video, I went to Glacier National Park and a lot of that was closed. I got to see the main place that I wanted to visit while I was there, but other than that, I couldn't really explore the rest of the park. I'm currently about 2 hours away from Yellowstone, and as of right now, the only entrance where you can get into Yellowstone is the northern entrance, which is actually closest to me. Now, the problem with that is that it only runs like west to east, and then that's really all you can see. So because of that, I think I'm going to skip Yellowstone entirely. For now, I'm definitely gonna come back there in the future, but they won't reopen until about mid-April, so I'm gonna probably hang around in this area until then. I say that like I'm just gonna kind of wait here until the park opens, but no, I'm gonna keep traveling, but I will come back to Yellowstone. Now, just south of Yellowstone is Grand Tetons National Park, and that is a place that you can definitely explore in the wintertime. Again, there are gonna be some closures, but it's gonna be a little bit more fun than going to Yellowstone. I really don't have any other plans right now other than to just sort of drive around, and while the sun is up, I'm gonna drive through Montana and enjoy all the beauty that it has to offer. Oh yeah, by the way, did you guys notice that the drone is now working? So thankful that that is not broken. Hello again. After a full day of driving, I finally made it to my destination. This is one of those national parks that there isn't a whole lot to do at, but once you're here, there's just views. One view in particular, and you can just kind of sit here and stare at it all day. The Grand Tetons National Park. Made it to Wyoming, state number 41 out of 50. I got in here right at golden hour, as you can tell. The sun is setting over here, and I think I'm just going to sort of hang out here till the sun goes down. I got some super rad photos on the way in. There's a crescent moon that's out right behind me, and at the angles that I was coming in at through Idaho, actually. I did get to go through a little bit of southern Idaho. The moon was right over the top of these peaks here, and look at it. Oh man, it looks so good. I do still have to find a place to stay for tonight. I believe I'm gonna be staying somewhere in a national forest behind these hills that you see right behind me here. It's kind of a bummer that I can't just stay right here and have this view all night, but hey, I'll take whatever I can get. All right, remember how I said that I wasn't gonna have a good view? I thought I was gonna be up in the hills on the other side where I couldn't see the Tetons. Well, there's the Tetons, an elk refugee, and then there's some national forest land. And I found this spot, seems legit, and check out the view. Now, if you listen really closely, you can actually hear elk calling from somewhere over in this direction because, of course, there are a ton of elk up here. Can you hear that? This spot seems nice and level, and it is marked with a national forest sign, so I think I'm gonna call this spot my own for the night. It is currently 18 degrees outside, and it's going to get down to -3 tonight. Last night it got down to 10 and I stayed warm, so now we're really going to be putting the van and its insulation to the test. I know there are places in the sat van that I could improve the insulation a little bit. I do have the back covered. I'm actually working on getting something for up here for the windshield and each side window, but I haven't had an address where I could send packages to yet, so that stuff will be coming here in a little bit. As of right now, it's not super windy, so I think we're gonna be okay. Now that I have my S-bar heating system hooked up to my engine block with a secondary heat exchanger, the engine heat, because it's still warm, is actually heating the air system water and all of that good stuff. So I'm gonna let that rock for a little bit. I'm gonna keep the heat kind of low for now, and then once that drops, I guess below like 60, then I'll kick my furnace on. That way I can conserve a little bit of power. So for now, I'm going to hang out and edit some photos, check out some of the videos that I took today, and then I guess I'll have to make some dinner as well. Well, good morning once again, everyone. That was an awesome night, topped off with a killer sunrise coming out here, hitting the Grand Tetons before it's even sunny where I'm parked at right now. This camp spot worked out perfectly, It did get down to about -2, -3 degrees last night, and it's currently warming up. It's about 0 degrees outside right now. I was hearing elk all night last night, and this morning I noticed that there are some hunters scattered throughout this area. Every once in a while you will see a couple of splotches of orange out there, followed by some gunshots here and there. So it seems like people are getting their fair share of meat. Speaking of hunters, that was actually a game warden right there. He came up and parked behind the van, and we were just chatting about all the elk that I heard last night. He said that there were about 500 heads that rolled up through here yesterday at some point, and there are 2 hunters down on the ridge on the other side that they're walking to right there. Sounded like 2 gunshots about 5-10 minutes ago, so I guess he's just going to make sure they're doing the right thing and following all of the proper rules. So now I have neighbors. I have game wardens parked on each side of the van right now. I'm actually gonna head down into Jackson Hole now. I mentioned before that I didn't really have any friends around this area, but I remembered that I actually do have a friend who lives in downtown Jackson. So the plan for today is to head down there, get some work done, and then hopefully meet up with him and explore Jackson Hole a little bit. Now before we end this video, I do want to test out some new functionality that I've added to the van that I haven't really had the proper chance to test yet. So the upgrades that I did to my S-bar heating system with the van have obviously been great. Sub-0 temperatures last night, and it's nice and toasty in here. The floor could probably use a little insulation when you're walking on here barefoot. It does get a little bit cold, but I can sort that out later. Now with this heat exchanger that I've added to my system, typically, when I turn the van on, typically there are glow plug lights right here. For a diesel engine, you typically have to let the glow plugs warm up a little bit before you start it. I don't even have my engine circulating pump on, pumping from the engine to the heat exchanger in there, so it seems like it's already doing a good job without even me turning the pump on. So I will turn the pump on right now. Now that little pump is taking warm coolant from the heat exchanger because my furnace is running, and it's circulating it through the engine. So I should be able to just start the engine right now with no troubles. Definitely not the easiest start. Maybe I should have let the circulating pump run a little bit, but it started. Now having my S-bar heating system tied into the engine right there is obviously a game changer, because without that I really don't think the van would have started right now. It was sitting in sub-zero temperatures all night, so that's hard on a diesel motor. Luckily I have that in place. I guess I can turn my circulating pump off now. Next time when I'm going to start the van, I'm gonna let that circulating pump run just a little bit longer, and it should make my starts even easier. So that's where I'm going to end today's video. If you guys have any questions on what I was just talking about there, you can check out the link up in the corner. And if you are new to the channel, consider clicking subscribe because I make new videos every week. That's going to be all for today. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one.